Seattle stand out.
Hello and welcome to the NW Sportscast. Today we are doing hot takes for the NFL season upcoming. There's not much NFL news, but we thought we could make some of our own story/takes on the season. And we both have three. We each have three. This is Alex here, second time in the studio in person with Levi and me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And yeah, let's get started. Levi, you want to go with your first one?
All right, my first hot take. So you guys remember last season, maybe, if you remember this, I used to make my quarterback rankings. I took all the starters, gave them rankings. It was a pretty complicated system, but my first hot take is that at the very bottom of that list will be the Eagles quarterback, Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to be the worst starter
Why am I
in the
here?
league next year.
I don't Alex, you need to tell your
The
opinion.
constant shame I get every day from you.
I think Jalen Hurts
It's
is
abomination.
slept on by Levi Coover, especially. I do not think he's going to be as bad as Levi says he is. Again, I don't think he's going to be good, but he did play at Alabama. He had a okay 4 games. I know he was 1-3, but for a rookie, he did go in and beat the Saints. I know that was a highlight. And their team wasn't good last year, and their team isn't going to be good this year. So I don't think it's going to be Jalen Hurts' fault as much as it is just the team's fault. I do think guys like, Drew Lock is going to be worse. I think other mediocre starters, I can't think of any right now, but I think there are going to be more than one guy that's going to be worse than him, personally. Alex, you agree?
Huh?
I disagree.
One,
I think
There's
Jalen
going
Hurts
to
is
be
just not a
many
good
people
quarterback.
worth.
Name 5 people you think.
Alabama
worse.
quarterbacks
5 people
just
that
never
are
have
going to be
success.
worse.
I have Drew Lock. I
Drew
can't
Lock.
think of any more.
Okay.
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner
Gardner's
Minshew's
not
not a
gonna
starter.
start.
We need
He
starters.
is for week 1.
And Drew Lock is not a starter either.
He is for week
No,
1.
he's not. Teddy Bridgewater will be the starter for the Broncos.
Yeah, frick. Cam Newton, maybe. Trying to think.
I was like, Jalen Hurts is
The
higher.
one person I could think
Dwayne
of that
Haskins.
could be worse. The
Dwayne
one
Haskins
starter
is
that I think
Daniel
that could
Jones.
be worse is what's his name on the Washington team.
Daniel Jones.
If they
Taylor
choose to go with
Heineke.
Heineke over Fitzpatrick, Heineke
Heineke?
could be worse.
I think he has higher upside than most of the veterans that are debatably like Teddy Bridgewater. Some people might not think Teddy Bridgewater is as good as Jalen Hurts.
But Bridgewater is.
I do
he
think
was pretty
Bridgewater's
average
better, but-
last year, and Hurts was 1-3.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to your hot take.
My hot take. Alright, so my first hot take is a little out there, but I feel like this season will definitely be Kyler Murray's season.
Mhm.
So I'm taking Kyler Murray from the Cardinals as MVP for the NFL with a crazy number of passing yards, something over 32 plus touchdowns, and 7 interceptions with 10 to 12 rushing touchdowns.
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with that one. I have
I didn't know we could disagree on these hot takes.
I have Mahomes on as.
I'm allowed to disagree? I'm allowed to disagree with your Eagles slander?
You are allowed to disagree.
I have
with
Russell Wilson as my MVP, but I think Kyler Murray is not going to win just because their team's not going to make the playoffs, and it's really hard to give the MVP to a team that doesn't make the playoffs.
it. Yeah,
And that's
it is
not
really
because the team's bad. That's because the team's in a really, really tough division. Arguably one of the hardest divisions literally ever. We have 4 teams that could debatably win the Super Bowl right now. You have the Rams with...
hard. So you admit that the Cardinals could debatably win the Super Bowl?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But I think they're the least likely of the 4 teams.
Yeah.
What
The
do you...
Seahawks are the least likely. Because
Definitely
at this
not.
point, the coach hates the quarterback, and the quarterback hates the coach.
It's not even
Yeah.
true. They've literally made up.
No.
They've made
And
up.
he's got a
entirely.
list of where he wants to be traded, which is always etch-a-sketchy.
He literally said he never wanted to get
But
traded.
he said he didn't want to.
Yeah, after he had a list of places he wanted to go.
Well, that's...
All I'm saying is
that's
we have
not
Russell Wilson, the Rams have Matthew Stafford, and then the 49ers have really, really good defense, a lot of weapons on offense. I know their quarterback...
Just forget
I know-
the Niners quarterback.
I know the quarterback position's a little sketchy, but they do have Trey Lance, who could be really, really good. Could be a Justin Herbert type guy. Probably not.
Or it might be Garoppolo who...
Or
won
Garoppolo,
13
again,
games.
who then also took him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, and then you have the Cardinals, who, again, they're a good team. They got J.J. Watt in the offseason. Kyler Murray's probably only going to get better. DeAndre Hopkins is one of his last years of prime, I'd say.
Wow.
He's getting up there in age. You have a pretty good offense. The defense, I think, needs to get a little bit better, but I think they're a team that could win the Super Bowl. However, I think they're going to be the 4th place in the NFC West this year. and I don't know if that's going to be enough to even get a wild card spot. So I just think purely because of how his team's going to do, I don't think he's going to win it personally.
All right, what's your first hot take, Drew?
Oh, I'm trying to remember my first hot take. My first hot take is the Bears going to win the NFC North.
So are you just assuming that Rodgers won't play?
Yeah, this is
I disagree with
this is
both.
taking into account that Rodgers might not be on the Packers next year.
I don't.
Because if I think that if my belief is that if Rodgers doesn't play with the Packers, then it will probably be Minnesota that wins.
Yeah, I have the Vikings winning if Rodgers plays or not.
Although Detroit is an interesting wild card because I know people like to rip on Jared Goff, but all he's done is win.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. All he's
Goff.
done is win.
I know Detroit's going to be a bottom 3 team in this year in the league.
And they could be.
They trade away
Or they could be a winning
everyone.
team.
Watch Kirk Cousins win the Monday Night Football game, and the
No,
Vikings
that will
win the
never
Super Bowl.
happen. That'll never happen. He will never win a Monday Night Football.
Well, I was talking about the Bears.
Yeah. What?
And I think the Bears have...
Bear with me.
But the Bears' defense is pretty solid. They still have Khalil Mack there. And then offensively, they don't have too many pieces. But again, they do have Justin Fields, who may or may not be really good this year. They have Dalton, who has shown in the past he could be good. I know he's getting up there in age. And they do have some weapons. They have, like, Allen Robinson. Who's the running back right now?
Montgomery and Cohen.
Yeah, so they have a okay, solid running game, I'd say. And I say those two guys are solid. And their defense was really good, 3 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago. And it's kind of fallen apart a little bit, but I still think they have potential to be a good defense. And in a division that really isn't that good if Rodgers leaves, you have the Packers who have some weapons, but who are they going to put a quarterback? You have the Vikings, who has proven time and time again that Kirk Cousins can't really win in big spots. And then you have Detroit, who traded away Kenny Golladay. They traded away Matthew Stafford. Their defense wasn't good
And
last
Marvin
year.
Jones. Oh, no, wait. Did they trade Marvin
They
Jones?
traded him already, didn't they?
Yeah, so their team, as long as Jared Goff doesn't somehow pull something out of nowhere, I don't think they're going to be good. So I just think that they have the highest upside, so I think there's an argument to be made that they could.
Yeah, I can see that.
Levi, you want to do your second hot take? I think we should just do two hot takes.
2 hot takes? Oh, I have to pick then.
Yeah, you have to
Ooh,
pick.
that'll be interesting. Well, I'm going to take out my third because my third was more.
You can tell the audience.
My third hot take was going to be that Tim Tebow would score 5 or more touchdowns.
Leave your comment down
we're
below
gonna-
if you agree with that. We are not going to talk about this one.
We won't go to that. My
Levi.
second hot take is the Saints will have a losing record this year for the first time in, 4-5 years?
Yeah.
And they will miss the playoffs. And the reason I think this is because
Just 'cause Drew Brees?
I'm not sure what they're going to do with between Taysom, who, he's shown promise, but
As a quarterback, not really.
he was like 2-2 last year. I'm not exactly sure. And then they have Winston, who, again, he's been all right in the past, but he was never like a knock your socks off type of guy. So I think probably both of them will play pretty equal amounts of time, but neither of them are just going to have that spark. So I see them at maybe a 7-10, 8-9, but I do predict the Saints will have a losing record.
Bold. Mine is more of a warm take, but I'm gonna pick Jamar Chase as my rookie of the year from the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
I feel Joe Burrow will have a very high caliber season, and along with that, the Bengals offense will be ignited again. You'll see players like T. Higgins explode, and I think Jamar Chase is going to win rookie of the year with a handful of touchdowns. So the Bengals, play pretty good football.
Just to respond to both of your guys's, I think that for you, I think that Jamar Chase, I think he's going to have a really good season, but I think just Trevor Lawrence is going to be too good next year, and I think they usually do give it to the quarterback if the quarterback is good. So I'm going to pick Trevor Lawrence as my rookie of the year. Remind me what was yours, Levi?
It was the Saints will have a losing record.
And the Saints having a losing record, I could definitely see that happen. They're in a division that's pretty tough. They obviously have the Super Bowl winning Bucks in there. They have the Panthers, who I think is going to get a lot better this year. I think the Panthers are, again,
Who's their quarterback?
their quarterback position is a little sketchy.
Sam Darnold.
It's Sam Darnold, but that's.
They're not going to be that good.
I think they're going to get better. Last year they showed promise, I think, and then
Yeah, they showed promise last year when they had good quarterback.
Teddy's not a good
Bridgewater?
quarterback.
Well, okay, when they had an average quarterback. Now they have a trash
Sam
quarterback.
Darnold is higher upside than Teddy Bridgewater.
No.
Yes.
Not anymore.
I think Sam
Not
Darnold's going to
anymore.
prove you wrong.
No.
Okay,
I
so
think Sam Darnold's
that's a
gonna
good
prove
hot
you
take if you want to use that as
Well,
your
I'm
hot
just
take.
saying, I think Sam Darnold's going to prove you wrong. That's all I get. Not a take. It's just my
Okay.
opinion. And then the Saints, I think they have a still really, really good roster, but they are so far down in the cap. They obviously aren't going to be able to make any moves throughout the season. If anything,
$72 million.
if anything, they're going to have to unload some contracts. Then what? Their quarterback position, Jameis Winston, he's shown flashes of being really, really good, throwing for like 30 touchdowns. But then again, he's shown flashes of just throwing the ball away to the other team, and you can't
30,
win.
30.
You can't win football games when your interception differential is like 2 per game or whatever. It's just not. You're just not going to win football games like that. But I do think they have a good enough team with Michael Thomas. You still got Peyton there as a really good coach, and I think they're going to squeak by with maybe 9-8. But I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. So
I agree with.
I kind of agree with Levi, but I also kind of agree that they might just squeak out above 500.
I agree with Levi that they're going below 5. I can't see the Saints having a full-time quarterback for this year. I feel like they're going to end up toggling, and what's going to happen is the schemes are just going to crumble upon themselves. I feel like Michael Thomas is going to have another down year because, unlike, sure, they said that Taysom Hill was targeting Michael, but I feel like if they start with
I think Taysom Hill's better as a guy that just utility
Yeah.
everywhere. I
Yeah,
feel
exactly.
like Jameis should be the quarterback. That's just me, but
I feel like if they're starting Jameis, they're going to be a little wary, and so I don't know how well it's going to go in an offense like that.
my third and final hot take is Russell Wilson is winning the MVP.
Wait, we're doing 3?
No, this is his
Oh, my
second.
second. My
His
second and final.
His second hot take was that Sam Darnold's going to blow me away this year.
Yeah, sure. That's my second one. And Russell Wilson's going to win the MVP. That's my prediction.
Oh, wow. Right on time. 3 years in a row.
I think that because, again,
Oh.
Russell Wilson
Huh?
has DK Metcalf.
Oh, quoted from 2 years ago.
Has
Whoa.
no, I did not think this highly of DK Metcalf going into last year. I really didn't. I thought he was going to be really
quoted
good.
from last year, DK Metcalf.
He has DK Metcalf, top 10 receiver. Tyler Lockett, top 10 receiver. Offensive line, it's been his best in years.
No,
Oh,
that's
yes.
actually not true.
Yes,
We
it
actually
is.
lost pieces
You've
on
just
that
thrown in hot
Got
takes in
Gabe
your hot
Jackson.
take.
Got Gabe Jackson in the offseason.
Hot takes on hot takes.
Drafted an offensive lineman. We
Yeah,
have-
in like what, the 5th
We have
round?
the
Round?
rook.
Sixth, yeah.
We have a
6th round?
we have a rookie team offensive lineman last year, Damian Lewis, who's only going to get better in his second year.
False.
That's not false.
No,
That's just
he's-
facts.
he will get better. He will get
So
if he was an all-rookie team last year, he's going to get better.
our offensive line is is the best in years. It is. Our offensive
the
line.
hot
Chris Carson, that guy's absolutely jacked. Have you
Watch
seen
him-
his Instagram
watch him-
pictures?
Watch him get hurt again.
I don't even know if
Watch
him
him
or
get hurt again.
I don't even know if him or DK Metcalf is stronger at this
Hot
point.
take.
Chris
Carson.
Carson's going to be a top 10 running back.
Hot take. Chris Carson
Then-
breaks both his legs.
You have a new offensive coordinator who's going to completely rework everything. We're going to have a Rams type offense. We're going to have more.
You want a Rams type offense.
Yes, I do. The Rams offense was cooking people 2 years ago in their Super Bowl run. And that was with Jared Goff. Imagine what they can do with Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, the
All of
unstable
this
quarterback
combined,
who doesn't want to
all
be
of
in
this
Seattle.
combined, he's going to have like 5 primetime appearances, and he's going to get it done. And I think Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks, I think they're going to maybe have 5 losses. I think they're going to be 13-5. No, 12
We're
and
playing
5.
18 games this year?
12 and 5.
12 and
12 and 5. I think they're going to be 12 and 5, and I think it's going to be enough for Russell Wilson to win MVP because I don't think they're going to want to give it to Patrick Mahomes if he has similar stats to Russell Wilson. And
But he won't. He'll
Tom
have
Brady. Tom Brady won't have similar stats. I think he'll be fine, Tom Brady. And I think Aaron Rodgers. I don't know about Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know if he's done anything related to football this offseason, so I don't know what he's going to do. Then Deshaun Watson, who was in the conversation last year, he's still dealing with those allegations.
Conversation with women. Yeah.
I really don't think the NFL would give him the MVP after all that. And who else? Maybe some people think Matthew Stafford. This guy thinks Kyler Murray.
I think Jalen Hurts.
I think
Wow.
Russell Wilson is in his prime. I think it's finally his time to prove everyone wrong. And he's going to get an MVP vote. And he's not just going to get an MVP vote. I think he's going to win the whole thing. So
All right.
that's my prediction.
Hot discussion take. Odds on the Buccaneers making it to the playoffs again.
Oh, 100%. There's no way they missed the playoffs They brought back every single one of their starters from their Super Bowl.
Well,
They're going to make the playoffs.
Like 99.9%. I
Yeah.
think like the 0.1% chance is Tom Brady just, for some reason, Father Time finally catches up to Tom Brady. And then what? Who's their backup quarterback at that point?
Well, they have, who is it? I don't know.
Not even
Maybe
good.
Russell Wilson pretty soon.
You are such a hater.
I'm not
It'll
hating.
be
He wants to
Jalen-
leave. It's
It'll
not
be
me, it's
Jalen
him.
Hurts pretty soon. It'll be Jalen Hurts pretty soon. He'll be a back. He'll go be a backup.
That's the only way I can see it, if Tom Brady really sucks. And eventually Tom Brady is going to suck in a season, guys. We all understand this. He can't play till he's 80. So at
Why
some
not?
That's such a bad take.
at some point, there's going to be a year where Tom Brady underperforms.
I don't think so.
At some point, there's going to be a year, 100% guaranteed.
Some
You know,
people
every
believe he
season-
underperformed last year.
Every season, there's at least one NFL analyst that says that, and then at the end of the season, it's always the same. They
I'm
get
not
clowned.
saying it's going to be this year. I'm saying at some one year, that one NFL analyst is going to be right. You
Yeah.
realize that at some point.
Maybe.
Then what happens? Hoorah! The Buccaneers missed the playoffs.
He's a human.
Yeah. Well,
At
I
some
don't know
point,
about that.
Tom
I don't know.
Brady-
That's a hot take. Right
He's
there.
not a human.
guys. I think we might be done with this. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Go
If you
check
made
out.
it this far in the video,
Not a
make sure you
human.
leave us a comment. What was the hottest take?
Me.
Leave a hot take down below. We might discuss it. And
We always reply to comments.
and like the video. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, you clearly liked it a little bit, or you just like to listen to stupid people talk about stupid takes.
These two.
Jalen Hurts.
Imagine.
And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. This is
Alex.
you gotta say something to end the video.
From the NW Sportscast. Have a great evening, everybody, and good night.
It's the morning. But